All right, everyone. It is Thursday, October 2nd, 2025. Welcome to another episode of the He Said, She Said Sports Talk podcast. We are your hosts. I am Big Red along with Tony. What's good, Tony?
What's
How-
up? What's up? The WNBA is in absolute chaos, Big Red. We have to talk about it. We have to get there today.
Let's talk about it. Let's get there. Yeah, let's. It's definitely in a lot of chaos. It's a lot of things going on. People feeling certain type of ways, along with the finals starting tomorrow. So it's definitely a lot going on. What do you want to touch on first? Um,
Let's cover the finals first. Let's get the actual
let's do the
basketball out of the
finals then.
way because we have so much to talk about with the drama. Uh,
Yeah, it's a lot of drama, but we do. There was a playoffs games played. Obviously, the Aces completed the series against the Fever, and the Mercury won their series as well over Minnesota. So you have a finals matchup of the Las Vegas Aces and Phoenix Mercury, which I think is a good matchup. Um, I'm not mad about how it turned out. What's your opinion on the finals going into game one tomorrow night at 8?
yeah, look, I would have liked to see the links there. To be
Yeah, yeah,
totally honest with you.
yeah.
The Liberty's first round exit was also a little bit shocking to me, but they've been battling injuries,
Hmm.
and so were the Lynx.
Stewart getting hurt. Yeah,
Yeah, a lot of people are battling injuries. That's part of the drama that we're about to talk about. Uh,
yeah.
Obviously, Fee was out, definitely hurt them and hurt them in the
Uh-huh.
series. So I like this matchup.
Hurt,
It really
hurt. She
really
hurt her
came
ankle,
down to the
right?
healthiest teams, I think.
Yeah, yeah. No, Naphessa, she hurt her ankle. Definitely was a big loss for Minnesota. But shout out to the Mercury for getting it done. Definitely. What's your take going into game one? Who has the advantage?
I like the Aces here. They've been in this position before. People forget, like, this is not their first rodeo, and they have
Definitely
been
not.
on a winning streak. To me, they're the team to beat. But the Mercury have been scrappy, so I think it'll be a really good series.
Yeah, definitely. Same here. I think it'll be a really good series as well. I think it will be close. It'll be a tough series for the Aces, but I do got the Aces winning game one and taking the series as well. Let's get into some of this drama that's going on in the WNBA. Um, Obviously, Naphessa Collier made a statement talking about the commissioner, Cathy Engelbert, did I say it right?
Yes,
Engelbert?
you
Engelbert?
did.
Okay.
Yes.
I slaughter names, but
Nah, it's okay. I don't think you're gonna have to get her name right for much longer.
yeah, 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 yeah. You right about that. I'll let you touch on that a little bit and Nafissa's statement and all of that stuff. So, what's your take on that?
Yeah, so Naphessa Collier, after the Lynx concluded their run, they lost in the semifinals.
Hmm.
In her what they call exit interview, right? The last interview of the season.
Season, yeah.
Um, she sat down and made a 4 minute no questions, just a 4 minute statement where she criticized from the top down leadership in the WNBA, specifically its commissioner, Cathy Engelbert. A
Hmm.
lot of people all year have been criticizing the officiating, and rightfully so. There are so many injuries happening in the WNBA, and it's most likely due to a shortened season in length of time, but more games. So if you think about it, you're playing multiple games a week. That is a lot of wear and tear on the body, and also not a lot of time to practice. And it's why it took so long for so many teams to build their chemistry.
Yeah.
That on top of just like awful officiating, bad calls, um, letting physical play happen that's causing those injuries. So she criticized all of that. And that comes from, you know, what Fee referred to as, quote, a tone deaf, dismissive approach that our
Yeah.
leaders always seem to take. So criticizing Kathy, she actually made she talked about a conversation that she had with Cathy,
Yeah,
where Cathy allegedly
yeah.
said
Some big
that
statements in that conversation.
yes, she allegedly said that Caitlin Clark should be lucky that she makes what she makes off the court and that she owes that success to the
That's crazy.
WNBA. And that was in response to Fee criticizing players like Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese, Paige Beckers, who have brought viewership and brought money to
Yes,
this league, making the
100%.
minimum rookie salaries that they're making. So obviously, that's not the case. If you've ever seen college basketball, you know that Paige, you know that Caitlin, you know that Angel were
They
all
been had a
popular.
bag before the WNBA. They
They
didn't
were
need
all popular before they came to the league. They
yes
brought eyes into the league.
to the
So
league. Yes, 100%.
some of Fee's statements, some of the quotes, I'll read them. She said, "We have the best players in the world. We have the best fans in the world, but right now we have the worst leadership in the world." That's huge. She
Yeah, that's a
said,
huge statement.
She said the
Definitely.
real threat to our league isn't money, it isn't ratings, or even missed calls or physical play. It's the lack of accountability from the league office. So that's huge criticism.
hmm I
And
think she said the one comment too, like losers only complain about the refs or something like that. That's why.
yeah, that's what yeah, Kathy Engelbert
Yeah,
said that
Kathy Engelbert.
the
Yeah.
losers only complain, which also isn't true. So, you know, all of that is obviously alleged. Like that's a conversation that she's
Uh-huh.
claiming she had with Kathy. Kathy's response is basically that she was disappointed in how Nafisa handled talking about that, which,
Uh-huh.
it is what it is.
Some people are gonna feel like Nafisa should have kept it, private or whatever, but I don't think so.
It was
Just like
time.
I said, it was time, yeah. And then when it comes to the leadership and they have that nonchalant approach and they're thinking like that, there's no appreciation for the player. There's no appreciation for the player. So, it's definitely time for somebody to step up. I'm glad Nafisa did.
I knew it would be her. I mean, she is so often a leader in this league, and she moves in a way that's not always super vocal.
Isn't she like a head or president of the Players Association or something like that too?
She's in the Players Association. I don't know exactly what her role there is,
Role is,
but
yeah.
she's
Yeah.
also one of the founders of Unrivaled. So she
Yes.
and her husband run their own league, and they
Yes.
know now what it takes to run a league, and they know what that leadership, what they want it to look like because they've been doing it. And
Mm-hmm.
so it was about time that somebody stepped up and criticized that leadership. And now you have Angel, Paige, and Caitlin all stepping
Caitlin,
up
yeah.
and saying they support what Fee is saying. Asia Wilson
100%.
supporting what Fee is saying. So many of the WNBA players have come together and backed Fee, and I think that that's dangerous. And people are complaining about Caitlin Clark's response to it, but to keep it
What they
100,
complaining about?
that it wasn't enough, basically. First and
Man,
foremost,
it doesn't like Caitlin Clark said, Fee said it all. You know what I'm saying?
right,
So
right.
she didn't really need to chime in too much or say too much.
I
Nafisa
think
said it
people just
all in her
expect so
statement.
much from Caitlyn and they forget that now it seems like the players are starting to understand and welcome her, but only in the last half of the season, I feel like.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
her first year, her rookie year, the league office didn't value her. The players resented her. The league
Mm-hmm.
office absolutely resented her. I mean, if you look at the difference between the way Cathy Engelbert went about giving out Rookie of the Year to Caitlin, which was a phone call to her whole team during practice, versus Paige
Versus what Paige got
showing
this
up to
year.
the Jennifer Hudson show
Uh-huh.
and
Yeah.
being a whole viral thing.
Doing a little dance down the line. Yeah.
They resent the person that brought them viewership, and I still don't understand why. I mean, this is a huge year with CBA negotiations, with the TV deal that they had to get last year with, and
Mhm.
Kathy said that they should be grateful for the TV and the media rights deal that she got
Crazy. If the
them.
media, if the TV deals go up, then the paychecks got to go up
And
for the
it's
players.
exactly, and it's like,
That's crazy.
listen, you know, you're not giving credit to the person who allowed you to get that media rights deal. I mean, you can be a great negotiator, but if you don't have Caitlin Clark, people aren't investing. So,
Yeah, 100%.
a
It's
lot
about
of drama. I expect it all to um kind of continue throughout this series and
Mhm.
a decision to be made after the end of the WNBA season. I don't expect something to happen now as we're in the midst of the finals.
Yeah,
I
no,
don't see that
definitely.
happening.
Yeah,
Who
I
knows?
think somebody. I think they definitely gonna step in and do something. I think they have to. I mean, with her approach and her leadership and the direction that the WNBA is trending and going, it's just time for a new commish. Kind of like with the NBA.
Mhm.
With what is his name, Adam Silver? Yeah, and the old commish. It's just time for a new change. But yeah, it's definitely time for her to go. If those comments are true, it's crazy. Um, which I kind of think Naphessa has a lot of she has some pull on that because who would make those kind of statements, you know,
Mhm.
bandish statements and they wouldn't be true, so
We're
it's
about to go through another unrivaled season where we see Fee and Brown Stewart's leadership and that how they run their league. It's
yeah,
season two of Unrivaled, so I don't think these conversations are going to go away because I think people are going to
definitely
continue more and more to talk about the officiating in Unrivaled, how much better it is, the way the players are treated, the way the players are paid, the way
not.
that they're advertised, the media rights deal that Unrivaled has, and Caitlin Clark's not even in it.
Yeah, yeah, exactly, and
Other notable things that happened in the WNBA, the Dallas Wings, the team that Paige Beckers is on, who only won 10 games this year, they fired their head coach, which is not shocking. The shocking news is that the Liberty aren't keeping Sandy Brondello head coach.
yeah, I
Her
heard about
4-year contract is up this year, and they are not re-signing
it.
her,
Or something. Yeah,
which is
that's crazy.
crazy because in her 4 years, she had a first round playoff exit, a finals loss, a finals win,
Yeah.
and now a first round playoff exit. So she's led the team to the playoffs all four years.
Yeah,
And
that's
I
crazy.
don't think it was coaching that gave them a first round exit. I think it was
Yeah, it
in.
was injuries. Yeah, it was definitely injuries for sure.
So I'm curious to see who they have on the dock to bring in because if you don't bring a high quality head coach, you're not keeping Brianna Stewart there. You're not keeping T Cloud there. You're not keeping Sabrina there. If you don't
Mhm.
bring in a coach that's going to keep everybody together.
Yeah, definitely. And it won't take her long to probably find another job somewhere as well, I'm sure, with that track record. I mean, it's crazy that you.
Dallas, maybe, with Paige and Enrique.
Hey, hey, you got something there. You got something there. Yeah, I think so. It definitely won't take her long though. Like you say, all 4 years making the playoffs and getting a ship.
Yeah.
Come on now. And going to another one. It's like, come on, man.
Mhm.
That's crazy. But yeah, no, definitely wait to see how this drama unravels. And again, tomorrow, game one of the WNBA Finals, Vegas Aces, Phoenix Mercury. We'll be looking forward to and tapping in with it as well. But let's talk about some college football. We'll touch on a little bit about last week. Obviously, there was a few big games and a couple of upsets. Virginia upset Florida State. Out there in Virginia, 46-38. The Penn State Oregon game was a good game. Oregon ended up winning in double overtime. Alabama beat Georgia, as always, it seems like, out in Athens, 24-21. And Auburn lost to Texas A&M, which is one of my sleeper teams, 16-10. But what's your take on last week's game? And also, who do you have as a team that's for real? And who do you have as a team that's not for real going into next week's games, which we'll talk about as well?
Yeah, I mean, like, let's start with the obvious. The for real teams are all your undefeated teams: Ohio State, Oregon, Miami, Ole Miss, Oklahoma, Texas A&M, all
Hmm.
legit contenders, right? Uh,
Hmm.
I I was a little surprised how far LSU dropped. You see that?
Yeah, I did. I did see that.
What'd you think of that game?
Um, LSU. I mean, it was. I'm not going to say it was the defense. It definitely was the offense is not clicking. The running game. I know they got a couple injuries or whatever, but it's definitely not clicking. Ole Miss looks. I have to give them credit. They look good. With the guy Chambliss from Fair State. I guess he won a natty in D2. He was the backup, and he came in. It's been 3-0, been lighting it up. And their defense, Ole Miss, that's the thing about Ole Miss. Ole Miss has always had a good offense, but their defense looks even better now. So, that puts Lane Kiffin and them boys in the mix for sure. LSU, I don't, I haven't given up on them yet, but it's looking a little scarce with how the offense is looking, I will say, and how Garrett Nussmeier's playing. He's might not even be playing this Saturday as well. Because of a groin injury or something. So they might be playing Michael Van Buren or something this week. So, but
I would love to see it be just a little bit of a blip. Because the offense hasn't it's been on a downward trend. It didn't start that way, so
yeah, yeah, it definitely didn't start that way. Yeah, you're right about that. What about Penn State? That's a team that I don't think is for real. Obviously, they can't win the big games. James Franklin's record says it all.
yeah. No, notoriously just can't win big games. You said it, right? It's not that they're a bad team. They're a great
Mhm.
team. Can't win big games.
Yeah.
So how are you a contender if you can't win those games?
hmm No, you're absolutely right for sure. And then Kurt, a lot of people don't talk about this as much, but Kirby Smart's record versus Bama is terrible. He did credit win a national championship against them one year. I will give that's a big game to win, obviously, but he hasn't been winning like the regular season games or a few other playoff games against Bama. So
Yeah, but if I'm him, I'll take the national championship win
but
over
yeah,
the regular
obviously.
season one.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, even if Georgia would win it all this year, obviously he would take that loss any year
Mhm.
if they want to win it all. But no, and like I said, I like Texas A&M. They're a sleeper team too. I like the quarterback and I like their defense. They have a guy at receiver named Craver, who's a weapon. I think they're a sleeper in the SEC, but. Uh, a team on the rise in the SEC is obviously Ole Miss, but I'm not giving up on LSU like I said just yet. But uh, but yeah. Speaking of the rankings, the new rankings are out. Like you said, you mentioned LSU drop. What were some of your other takes from the top 25?
Yeah, I mean, look, you got a lot of undefeated teams right now still that are lower on this list, and it makes sense. I mean, you're not gonna put like a Georgia Tech or a Vanderbilt any higher than you have them. Iowa State, like things like that. They're just not
Yeah,
going higher than they are. Uh,
yeah.
so to me, it is a pretty accurate reflection. I don't know how I feel about Texas still. Um,
Mhm.
but I don't know. I would
If I could flip flop one thing, I would flip flop Indiana and Penn State. That would probably be the only thing that
I would agree. I would agree with that.
I would flip flop just because Indiana's still undefeated. They're a tough team, and they play Penn State tough every year as well. But just Penn State with having that loss, I would have put them. I just would have flip flopped them right there. You mentioned Vanderbilt, and they play Bama this upcoming week in a huge game. So their quarterback Diego Pavia, I think that's how you say his name. He's like you said, we've been talking about him a few times, being in the media and stuff like that, but he's been backing it up so far this year. But will he continue to back it up against Bama this weekend?
I'd love to see the upset. I'd love to see Vanderbilt stay undefeated, a Bama upset. I don't see it happening, but I think that'd be fun. Shake up the college football landscape a little bit, threaten Bama's chances.
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, if this is like to me this is like the put up or shut up for Vandy, because it's like, yeah, Vandy's undefeated, but nobody's really like talking about Vandy, giving them any credit, because obviously their history, but it's like this is the week, this is the game, obviously they beat Bama last year. Bama wasn't expecting them. They're going to be expecting them this year.
Mhm.
So if they get the win with Bama expecting them, that's going to kind of show where that program is going in Vanderbilt. And I'll be in Nashville all the time. I actually stay in an Airbnb on Vanderbilt University, which is crazy. Um, when we go out there. But I want to see that fan base, get a little rowdy and Vandy move up and kind of ascend. So I'm looking for the upset as well. I don't think it'll happen, but I'm definitely rooting for the upset in that game. Some other big games from for this upcoming Saturday. I wanted to touch base with you on. Obviously, Florida State, Miami. Florida State will be playing at home. Big game for Miami. Big game for both schools, really. Even though Florida State got upset last week, it'll be a bounce back game. They'll be hungry. What's your take on that rivalry game?
Yeah, I mean, Florida State at home in a bounce back situation could absolutely upset Miami.
Hmm.
I don't know exactly what their history is. They play a lot. I don't really know who gets the better of who, but I do think
Well,
Miami.
lately it's been Miami getting the better of them.
I was gonna say I do think it's Miami that's been getting the better of them, and I hate to
Definitely.
say it, but Carson Beck really does look legit. So, it would be a huge statement if Miami went down to Tallahassee and won that game.
Yeah, I think so too. It definitely be a huge statement for Miami. I think it's a game they low key. I think it's a game both teams low key have to have. As far as
I
the
agree.
ACC championship. It's a big game for both schools. I think it's even a bigger game for Florida State coming off that loss to
Yep.
Virginia.
Yeah,
So, and they'll be
you
at
can't keep
home.
losing. So,
Um, it's a rivalry game, so anything happens. Yeah. So, are they going to ascend with the quarterback they got from BC? Is Castanello, whatever his name is. I slaughter names, but yeah, is he going to ascend and do what he said he was going to do, like he did against Bama? We'll see. But I'm definitely looking forward to it. I got Florida State in that one. It's in a slight upset. I
yeah,
want to.
that's what I said. I have Florida State as
Yeah,
well.
yeah, I got Florida State in that one for sure. Another game I want to talk about. It's not really. I mean, some people probably look at it as a big matchup for sure. Is Texas at Florida? We've been talking about Arch. He's not had the season. Everybody thought he was going to have. He's kind of been under the radar the last couple of weeks with teams they played, obviously. But this is, to me, I think this is a big game for them. A conference game going into the swamp out there in Florida, a hostile environment. They're going to be loud. Florida's defense is not bad, so they're going to come to play. How do you think he's going to fare in like his second real test on the road in his young career?
Yeah, I mean, this is the biggest game that they've played since the opener,
Yeah,
I would say.
yeah, yeah, literally.
Another SEC matchup. So, um, look, I think it's put up or shut up time for Arch Manning. He's gotta go out there and perform.
Yeah,
He's gotta back up all the talk from the off season. This is the time to do it. And in a very winnable SEC game against a pretty good defense, but not a great defense.
yes, not a great defense as
It's
you mentioned. Yeah.
yeah, it's definitely doable, and it's about time. It's about time. So
Yeah. No, I think so too. I think I need to see a full game from Arch. No showing off, no taunting or none of that stuff he was doing in that one game, but just a full game of him just being complete in a tough environment. I got Texas winning the game, but I just want to see him, play a complete game, turnover free, and just
agreed.
look good out there for sure, definitely. Another game, it's not really a big game as well, but they kind of been on the slide. Clemson
Hmm.
plays North Carolina. Both of those teams are kind of sliding. Obviously, no playoffs for Clemson, but they're not quite out of the conference championship. So, do you think they could win at UNC, or does UNC get the win?
I honestly don't care.
I know you don't. I knew that would be the answer you would give me as well. But I just think, me personally, I think Clemson, Dabo's lost his players. That's what I think.
Do you think he's lost the locker room?
Yeah, I think so. think he's lost the locker room.
Possible. It seems like it.
We'll definitely know with this, in my opinion, we'll definitely know with this game how they come out to play against North Carolina, in my opinion.
We
Uh,
didn't talk about it, but my Syracuse Orange, they took Clemson.
oh yeah, they did to the
They took
woodshed.
Clemson out of playoff contention, is what they
Yeah,
did.
they took Clemson to the woodshed. Actually, yeah, for sure.
Oh, it was fun to watch until, our quarterback got murdered. But it's
Yeah,
fine.
yeah. He's out for a while too, huh?
The season.
Yeah, yeah. I think
Well, it was
Syracuse
an
will be fine. They're
ACL.
still trending up. Like I said, you know,
Yeah, they had a rough week last week with the
they had a rough
backup
week
bid,
last week. Yeah,
but
without the
you can
quarterback.
definitely resettle. You can resettle. You can get to a bowl game. It's
hmm
totally possible.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I could definitely see him in a bowl game. I could see him getting 6 wins,
Hmm.
easy for sure. Definitely. Fran Brown. Another game that's a sleeper game to me. In the Big 12. We haven't talked a lot about the Big 12, but the Big 12, you have an undefeated Houston versus an undefeated Texas Tech, which is ranked 11th, which nobody would have guessed at the beginning of the season.
Hmm.
Uh, what's your take on the Big 12 and this game? Not only this game, the Big 12, and I'm not sure, I forget who you picked to win the Big 12. I know I picked Kansas State. That's over with. But
I don't
uh,
remember who I picked to win the Big 12, to be honest. Doesn't matter. Um, I love this. I love two undefeated teams. Two teams want to know in the conference coming
mm,
into this game. It's a huge game for them, for the conference. Um, I know Texas Tech has been great. Personal bias, I want to see Houston win it. Um,
yes.
yeah, got a couple friends at Houston, so I'd love
Yep,
to
yep.
see
Yeah,
them
you
get
do.
a big
Yeah.
win and have a big season. So,
Yeah, no, for sure. Houston's trending upward too. And Houston's got a quarterback coming next year, 5-star guy.
yeah.
He's literally like the top two ranked, one or two ranked quarterback, Keyshawn Williams, I think, or something like that. But he's from Texas. He's committed to go to the Cougars. So shout out to them. They're definitely trending forward and upward and looking good.
Houston's an unranked 4-0.
Yeah, they are. They're an unranked 4-0. Yeah. So they're a
Interesting.
sleeper. And I think they can beat Texas Tech for real. Texas Tech is tough this year. Don't get me wrong. And their defense looks good too. But, that could be a game Texas Tech could lose depending on, the turnover battle, penalties, and possessions and stuff like that. But yeah, no, definitely I could see Houston winning that game.
Yeah, and
Um,
I'd like to see them ranked in the top 20 after that.
yeah. Oh, yeah, they would be. If they win this game, they're definitely jumping in the rankings for
Yeah.
sure. Um, another game I would like to talk about. Not a like I said, a big game, but Boise at Notre Dame. Um, what's your any take on that game for you? Could Boise get an upset?
I mean, yeah, Notre Dame just doesn't look like the team that it's looked like.
Mm-hmm.
They're already pretty much out of playoff contention at this point. Not all the way, but they
Yeah,
they
yeah,
might
they got a slim chance, but yeah, no,
they lose this game, it's done for real. But they don't
yeah,
play another top 25 preseason top 25 team.
yeah, you're
So
right.
it's all going to come down to strength of schedule. They already have two losses. They lose
Mm,
to a team like Boise State, who is a very good team and can absolutely beat them.
yeah. No, yeah, you're right. I think it's a game too. Like I said, the pressure's on Notre Dame, and when the pressure's on like that, you get into certain type of games. That's when upsets do happen.
Yeah.
And obviously, last year with them getting upset by Northern Illinois, you know, still making a playoff, they went on that run. They were able to handle that pressure. But I think it's a different year for them. I do think they're going to get another loss, unfortunately. Even though they're not playing another ranked team. I don't know if it'll be Boise or not. We'll see. But I do think they will have another loss, and they won't make the playoffs, in my opinion, for sure.
I think they have more than one loss coming to them for the rest of the season, to be
Yeah,
honest.
yeah. And then they still got to play USC too. So
Mhm.
yeah, so that might be a loss as well. So I wouldn't agree. I could agree with you on that for sure because they don't look. I thought their defense would look better. It just doesn't. Um,
And they
Like I said,
lost their defensive coordinator.
yeah, yeah, to you guys, yeah. Said thank you, appreciate it. But no, one last game I'm gonna touch on before we get out of here, though. Sleeper game to me. I like these two teams. Maryland versus Washington. Maryland is undefeated. Um, I don't think they're ranked. I'm not sure. I could be mistaken.
Not ranked.
Not ranked. But undefeated, playing well with a true freshman quarterback who's a sleeper. Nobody's really talking about. He's playing better than a lot of true freshman quarterbacks that everybody thought would be doing their thing. In Malik Washington, but they play the Washington Huskies, which lost to Ohio State last week. But I still believe that they're a good team, tough team. They played Ohio State well.
Mm.
What is your take on that game, if you have any? And I don't think Maryland's a sleeper team, but I do think they're on the rise. They're not going to win the Big Ten. I'm not saying that. They won't be be in the mix by the end of the season, but they will have a winning record, and I do think the future's bright with the young quarterback they do have. But they play
Yeah.
Washington this Saturday at Washington. Washington has Demond Williams, who looked good. Everybody says he's like a Kyler Murray type quarterback. But yeah, what's your take on that though?
Yeah,
Before
I
we
mean,
get
you pretty much touched on it. I don't have too much to say about the game in general. Honestly, haven't been following those two teams super closely. But,
hmm
when you have a young freshman, a true freshman quarterback who's performing like this, number one, you're due for a loss, right?
Yeah,
At this point, you're due for a loss. I think it could very much be that time for
he
them.
could. Yeah, this could be
Uh,
their first loss. That's how I feel too. I do think Washington. Yeah, I mean, you basically called my pick for me. I do think Washington will win this game because it's a tough game on the road in Seattle for the freshman. If he comes out and gets the win, kudos to him. But
if he gets the win, I think they become kind of a sleeper.
yeah, 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 kind of a sleeper. Yeah, it'll
I need
trend
to
more.
see a bigger win than that, but like on the
They get a
bubble.
bigger win than that, because I do. They play Ohio State this year, so if they beat Ohio State, that'll be huge, obviously, for any program to beat Ohio State. But if they beat Penn State, I'm not sure if they play Penn State or Michigan, but if they beat one of those teams, that would be big for the program as well. They'll be taken a lot serious. If they're undefeated coming into our game, they'll probably be close to a top 10 team. I would guess for sure. But
Yeah.
definitely looking forward to the games this weekend. We'll see how it goes. We'll see if there's any upsets. Um, do you know who the Qs have this weekend?
Oh God, who do we have? SMU, I think.
Oh yeah, you're right. Yeah, yeah,
SMU.
that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is right. SMU. Yeah, they do play SMU. So I'm gonna keep an eye on that game a little bit, and then my Buckeyes play a night game against the Golden Gophers of Minnesota. So we tuning into that too. But we appreciate you guys for tuning in to the He Said, She Said Sports Talk podcast. We are your hosts. I am Big Red. This is Tony. We appreciate you guys. And as always, it is love and peace.